All right. How's everybody doing tonight? Good?
Good.
All right. Get started. 2 minutes early, but that's okay. What is here is here. All right, so got to finally meet you guys in person, all right? So I know the first week I wasn't here. And then last week was a holiday, so we had 2 weeks and, not actually getting to introduce and meet each other. So I'm glad I finally get to meet you guys, all right? So welcome, all right? I'm sure Dr. Laura was good. Yes, everything, no problems? Okay, cool, appreciate that. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, Dr. Patrick Hayes, I'll be the instructor for this class for the next, whatever, 5 weeks we have left or so. Right, it's week 3, yeah, 5 weeks, okay?
Yeah.
All right, traditionally, I haven't had any of you in class, I don't think. I think it's the first time for everybody here in my class, I think. So I just want to know a little bit about you. Your name, where you're from, what degree you're pursuing, what concentration, I guess you would say, what you plan on doing with your degree, right? No, you haven't. I thought you had been in my class before, but I don't think so. This is the first time. What you plan on doing with your degree, if you know, or anything else you want to tell me, okay? So, whoever wants to start first, by all means, okay?
Okay, my name is Ali.
Okay.
I'm from Jordan.
Okay.
I'm studying here master's degree in MBA.
Mhm.
My bachelor's degree was electronic marketing.
Electronic what?
Marketing.
Okay.
I'm planning to just teach,
Yeah, okay, good, you go. All right, that's it. All right, you gonna stay here? We'll go back to Jordan.
I'll take the master's degree,
Mhm.
PhD,
Okay.
and I will go back to Jordan.
Then you go back to Jordan. Okay, good man, good man. I like Jordan. I've been there. a couple
You've been
times.
there? No way.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a nice place. I like it.
thank you.
No problem. All right, who's next?
My name is Mohammed. I'm originally from Iran.
Okay.
Citizen and working here for the last 7 years in the health field.
Okay.
My concentration in the health field as well,
Mhm.
MBA in the health field, and I'm pursuing from this degree. I'm already working there. I'm manager in my company,
Okay.
and I want to go another position like that or something like that.
Okay.
That opportunity that's the marketing up right now. My bachelor degree in microbiology.
Okay.
And I'm planning to stay in the health field.
Okay, here in the States. Okay, good to go. Oh, appreciate it.
Michael, came from Philippines originally,
Okay.
migrated here, joined the Navy. Just, recently retired from the Navy for 26 years.
Okay, good to go.
And my bachelor's is in workforce education. I
Mm,
did that while I was an instructor in Great Lakes.
Okay,
And pursuing MBA in strategic leadership.
okay, nice, okay. All right, what you gonna do after?
Hoping to get into GS jobs, government jobs.
Okay, all right, good to go. All right, appreciate it.
My name is Shivani. I'm from India.
Okay.
I completed my bachelor's in accounting and currently I'm studying for the MBA.
Okay, all right. You gonna go back to India? Okay, what part of India you from? Come on in. Ah. Go ahead, sit down. What the? Say that again?
Gujarat.
Gujarat? Okay. Where's that at? Like, is it north, east? What part?
About north side.
North side? Okay, all right, good to go. All right. You last, since you came in late. Go ahead, you know what I do. Name.
My name is Ahmed Shawalkan. I'm international accounting. I'm doing my master business administration and finance. That's it.
That's it, okay. All right. Who's out here on Reg? Can you hear me?
Hi.
How you doing?
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello? Yes, no? I can hear her somewhere. All right. Reg, we'll
Hi.
get to you.
Can you hear
Can you-
me, sir?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay.
Okay, can you tell the class, or I mean specifically, where you're from, what you're pursuing as far as your degree goes, what you plan on doing with your degree?
Come again, sir. I can barely hear you.
Can you tell me where you're from, what you plan on doing with your degree when you're done? Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay. I'm from Philippines, and now I'm residing here in Azusa, California.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm taking a MBA because it needs by my employer as one of requirements. Yeah, and I'm an accountant in the Philippines. So yeah,
Mhm.
to further pursue my career.
Okay, okay, cool, thank you. All right. Name, where you from?
Muhammad Atur from Jordan. I'm a pharmacist. Graduated since 2009 as a pharmacist degree. I have experience in sales and marketing in pharmaceutical companies. And now I'm here to to get my MBA degree. Hopefully, it will be improve myself and my career in the future. And this is my second course with you.
The second course, no,
Yeah.
no, all right, you know, my mom, that did, okay? Okay, cool, I appreciate it. All right, so for those of you that maybe didn't read my bio, real quick, my name is Dr. Patrick Hayes. I'm from New York originally. I was in the Marine Corps, 21 years, retired about 10 years ago. Let's see what else. Got a bachelor's in business, master's in HR, master's in artificial intelligence, PhD in organizational leadership. I have one PhD, two masters. PhD twice now. I'm not gonna do that to myself. I like myself too much. I like to travel when I'm not teaching. I have a lot of different projects going on, from consulting to AI projects to working with homeless people, homeless veterans, and I coach basketball and stuff like that. Okay. For the most part, pretty laid back, easy to get along with. I'm not your crazy typical Marine. Just chill. That's pretty much it about me, okay? For the most part, rules of the class, okay? First thing is, if you don't turn in your work, I can't do anything for you, okay? That's the first rule. Turn in your work. Even if it's late, it's okay. Turn it in, right? There's a learning curve when it comes to, and you probably noticed when it comes to your LEs, right? And citations, right? I'm big on citations. I'm big on APA, right? Because at this level, you're gonna need it to write your papers. You're gonna need it to do your research eventually when you go get your doctorate, or even at this level, if you were to do a thesis, you would need to know how to cite and use APA. Okay, so I recommend that you go get the APA manual. A used one is good, right? It's like $6 on Amazon, right? Just get one and have it. Yes.
They don't expect too much of the citation thing. This is my weakness.
You sure?
I had the same issue because I've been teaching with the other professor different rules for citation. This is my 12th class.
Okay.
Okay, I'm almost done, and I've been learning for the last 6 classes different because AKA they started implemented, I believe, middle in the beginning they wasn't applied the AKA.
Oh, here?
Yeah, no, they didn't. I talk about almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, here. Yeah. I'm saying, what I'm saying is, not
They
just
wasn't
here.
applied. Then when start applying, they taught us something different from what was in your comment
Okay.
about citation, because we thought that it's before I was quoting everything and cite next to it. They said no. By the end of each paragraph, you have to cite what's in the paragraph. If
Yeah.
it's more than one, then by the end of each paragraph. As far as that, I'm not quoting the actual word. I'm just putting my idea in the paragraph.
Paraphrasing, yeah.
Yes. It's not the same sentence. I mean, the same sentence, it's fine to put by the end of the paragraph. And by the end of my work, then I have to put all the resources, the actual resources.
Right, the reference.
And I've been using that for the last class,
Okay.
but now I'm having something different.
Yeah. So I'm not really sure what the other instructors have said. Okay. But what I do is go by the APA manual. So when you're citing, it's really an art and a science. You have to figure out how to do it, right? So just putting a citation at the end of a paragraph doesn't work, right? Why would that not work? Anybody tell me why that wouldn't work, just putting the citation at the end of the paragraph?
Because it should be related to the.
To another sentence.
Exactly. That one citation doesn't cover the different aspects of your paragraph. So it can't just be one citation. You see what I'm saying? You could have a paragraph, you're talking about, HR, workforce, and then you talk about compensation at the same time and motivation. Those are three different topics, although they're related, they're not the same. You'd have to have a citation to kind of support each point, right? So you can't just have one citation at the end that covers the whole paragraph, because the whole paragraph has different aspects to it.
But my point is sometimes we use the one idea for each, because what I use, I read, I put my resource site, I read everything, then I have the idea, and then I start writing.
Okay.
And in that case, I don't have a specific sentence. Each paragraph is come from different websites. Sometimes 2-3 paragraphs from the same, because usually because they requested two subjects or three as maximum. And with paragraph, usually it's 4 or 5, each learning engagement is 4 or 5 paragraphs. And sometimes each paragraph or the whole idea is from one or two. That's why it's not easy to put one side for each, because each paragraph or 2 paragraphs is from one side.
Okay.
And it's the whole idea. I observe the idea, then I start putting my idea there. I'm not see how I can put the resources in the middle of paragraph if it's the whole paragraph coming from one idea. That's my.
So if the thought or the concept that you're writing about, that particular paragraph, is from one reference, then that's okay, right? You can put it at the end. But more than likely, there's something in there that you're talking about that isn't spoken about in whatever reference you're using, right? And I understand what you're saying. So if that's the case, yes, you can use the one citation at the end of the paragraph. But that's very unusual to have a paragraph and it just focus on one thing and not have to talk about nothing else. So I'll be on the lookout for that. I'll look for that. And if it works, if you have a citation at the end and I see that, okay, all the ideas are kind of correlated, that stay on the same topic, that's good to go. That's fine, right? But if there's an idea that's not necessarily related to that, but it definitely helps to bolster the argument, then I'm gonna go, okay, where'd you get that from? Okay, I can say the temperature, it's a nice day outside, right? The sky is blue. I like the grass, the sun is shining on the grass, right? And then put a citation at the end, but I just talked about the grass, the sun, and the sky is blue.
Even if they were related.
They're related, but they're not coming from the same source. You know what I'm saying? Like the sky is blue, how do I know that? That's coming from one place. The weather being nice, right? It's 90-some degrees. That's coming from someplace else, right? You might have got that off a meteorologist report or weather report. You see what I'm saying? So you'd have to cite that, sort of, right? But I'm not gonna get that picky about it, right? If I see a citation and it pertains to the paragraph or the paragraph itself, pretty much have all the thoughts or the concepts, they're related, I'm gonna be fine with that. It's when there's disparate thoughts and ideas that don't necessarily correlate directly, when you're putting the pieces together for me, you're gonna have to cite where it's applicable, all right? And so that's the art part of it, is to knowing when to cite. If it sounds like a fact, if it sounds like a declarative, like you're stating something, right? If it's not an opinion, then more likely needs a citation, right? If it's a statistic, 69% of the class is here, right? That's a statistic, right? You're gonna cite that, okay? So I want you to get into the practice of learning how to cite properly. It's good. There's different types of citing, but they're for different types of writing. So when traditionally, what you learn in high school and other places that don't do research is what we call the modern language citation system or Chicago style. Okay, and those are different. They're for creative writing, editorials, opinion writing, that kind of thing. Novels, that kind of thing. When you're doing academic research writing, an APA, right? Yes. So I'll take a look at that, right? And I'll give you some time, another week or two to kind of really get into it. But it really is an art and science, and it takes a while to really figure out, okay, what do I cite? You can never oversight, okay? I just tell you that much. There's no such thing as too much citing, right? I'd rather you do too much citing than not enough citing, right? Because what you don't want to run into is the problem of you getting accused of plagiarism. Because you wrote something down, and I know you're paraphrasing, you should be paraphrasing, so there shouldn't be an issue, but let's just say you take a quote and you don't cite it. You wait to the end to cite the whole thing, but the quote is from something else, right? It conveys a point, but the point isn't necessarily directly related to what you're talking about, okay? So you have to cite that, but let's say you didn't cite it. Then I'd be like, well, you just plagiarized, you just copied it and put it down on your paper and just took it as your own, right? So you just want to avoid that. So I'd rather you oversight than undercite, okay? And so it'll take some time to kind of figure it out and kind of know how to do it right and massage it, right? And I don't know what the other instructors, kind of have taught.
It's almost the same idea, but the difference is before I have problem with plagiarism because when I read and write right away, I'll have that.
Yeah.
That's what they thought. Like, okay, read it, observe the idea,
Yeah.
and then go and write without looking for the resources. Just observe the idea, and that's come to cite by the end. Because if for sure it's quotation, then I have the paragraphs, and then I put according to that website.
Right.
It's quotation, but if it's the idea, then I put that.
Put it in.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll work on it because
And
it
we
should
have
be.
a big problem with the links.
What?
The links to the citation.
The links,
Yeah.
what about them?
It's not always give us the correct link. So when you just write it and
Mhm.
copy it from the citation or from the library, when you go to there another time in archiving, it's not.
Which means nothing, like, it's
Yeah,
not.
when you click on it,
Mhm.
it's showing nothing.
Unclickable.
Oh, so the reference you picked is not there anymore, or it's not, you gotta pick another reference. That's all, if it was there and it's not there anymore, I mean, they just either closed it off, or it's just not there.
Because it's not one time, it's having problems with it.
Say that again?
It's always happening with us, not just one time.
No, I know, but that's something with you, when you're picking your reference in your citation, you gotta just pick stuff that the link works. Yeah, there's nothing I can do or anyone else could do. Yeah, it's as you're doing your research, you choose your references, just make sure that they're references that you can actually go and read and click on and download the article or whatever the case may be. Okay? But we'll work on that throughout. I take a couple points off, but I don't try to kill you on it, okay? But as time goes on, as we get closer to the 8 weeks, what I'm looking for is progress, looking for improvement. I mean, I'm not looking for perfection, looking for to see, okay, are you doing better at it? Because it's gonna take you a while, even after you're done with your master's, it's gonna still take you some time to continue on to learn how to do it properly, all right? Even when I write, I have my APA manual, and I use the site, and if I think it's something that might need a citation, I put it in there, okay? Just in case, all right? So, but we'll go over it, but you'll see that definitely on your LEs and your papers and that kind of thing, right? Especially your papers, right? Make sure that you cite your work, okay? Format, that kind of thing. I know English is a second language for many of you, right? So I take that in consideration also, but make sure, get someone else to read your paper or check it out, or, someone who's a little bit more, who's better at English or whatever the case may be, because, fortunately here in the academic world, I can entertain that. I can accommodate that. I can sit down and read and try to figure out, okay, what you're trying to say. In corporate world, and when you get out there in the real job, no one's gonna take the time to read it. They're gonna look at it. I can't read this. I don't know what you're talking about, and they're gonna toss it to the side. right? And then they're gonna look at you like you're not doing a good job, right? When it's not, you're smart, you're intelligent, it's just that English is not your first language, so you're learning how to write and, read in English, okay? So I understand that part and I take that in consideration also, with that, right? The other thing is, AI generated content, okay? No chat GPTs out there and all this other stuff, right? Yeah, I got a master's in AI, so I'm like, okay, like, do your homework before you send something to me that's even remotely AI related, okay? Don't use the AI generated content for your work. Now you can use it to brainstorm, you can use it as something, to generate ideas and to paraphrase, you can do that, right? But don't, ask ChatGPT, what's the importance of employee engagement? And then give you a whole 10 pages, you turn the 10 pages in and put your name on it and say, here you go, Dr. K, this is my work. Not gonna, yeah. So we have one, I'm gonna tell you two things, right? One, the ChatGPT doesn't cite, right? I know if anybody used ChatGPT, I'm sure everybody else has used it here. No?
Never heard of it until I.
Really? Okay. So, good, all right? First class, right? ChatGPT, right? You ask it anything, it's gonna give you an answer and it knows everything, okay? It doesn't cite. So that's the first thing. I already know you didn't do this work, right? Secondly, I forgot my second point. No, it's not APA. It's not APA, it's something else. Oh, there's an AI plagiarism checker. And turn it in. Yeah, okay, so that's there too. All right. And third, after a couple of weeks, I know how you write. Okay, I know how each of you, I will literally know after 2-3 weeks exactly how you write. If that writing style changes, it makes me nervous. I go, what? This word right here, this is a big word. Where'd you get this big word from? Okay, not to say that you're not intelligent, that you couldn't use the big word, but you never used big words before, right? So now all of a sudden you got these like 10 or 15 big words that I'm like, okay, it sounds good, but did you write this? Okay, then I start getting, curious. All right, yes,
Can I give them advice?
yes.
It's okay, give it to them.
Yes, I read everything. All right, it may not seem like it, but I read everything. All right. So just fair warning, okay? I will give you an F. I like you, I still give you an F. Okay, so just be cognizant of that, okay? Next thing is, if you're not gonna make it to class, send me an email or text, whatever. Hey, Dr. K, I'm not gonna make it to class today. Case closed. I don't need to know why. I don't care. Whatever. You guys have families, adults. I'm not here to hold your hand. I'm not here to supervise. I'm not here to babysit. Okay. So you got lives. I understand things come up. By all means, even if you just like, I don't want to come because I'm lazy today. Some days you are like that. All right. Some days you just gotta take a break, let the brain relax. Just watch TV and eat popcorn, whatever you do. That's okay. All right. Again, goes back to the work. Get your work in, you can do those things. If you don't get your work in, you can't do those things. Not with me anyway. Okay. Let's see.
I'm online student. Is this apply to me as well? Because
As far as what?
to attend to the class and send you a message if I'm not coming.
No. You don't have to. You can, because you're online. I know you're coming just because you probably like me. I like to be in the classroom.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's fine. Yeah, you're okay. You don't need to send me, let me know anything. What else? What else? If you need to take a phone call, go outside. Use the bathroom. You ain't to raise your hand. You ain't gotta stop me. Just go about your business. If you need to leave early, just pick up and go. Just give me a little adios. And I'll go adios. See you next week, and we move on. Okay, we'll miss you, but we will move on. Okay. What else? What else? I think that's it. Any questions?
For Zoom invite, for us or just for online,
That's for the online students. Yeah, that's for online students, that's for me to record. Now, if you can't make it to class and you want to still, you're somewhere where like, I'm homesick or I couldn't come physically to class, but I can still be in class and you want to, yeah, you can zoom in and be like, hey, I'm gonna zoom in. I'm still in country accent because I have to, but at least, hey, you came to class and I'll remember that. Okay, when it comes down to grading. Yes, sir.
I want to ask about the double line. We have an issue with that in the learning engagement because the model does not allow us to do double line.
Oh, double space.
Yeah, double space. I
Okay.
lose point for that.
Yeah. So so is that everybody's,
so.
There's no option there.
What I did with mine is, I did it on, Microsoft Word first, so I did the double space.
right,
And then I.
and then
pasted
you
on
paste it, yeah.
Even though it won't load. When you copy and paste, it won't load. If
It
you're
won't.
gonna, if you're gonna look for it right now, it's
Yeah.
because I tried everything. I
Okay,
tried with Word, I tried to look for everything, there's no.
okay,
that. That's what I did on mine.
okay. Well, let me know if you post it, it looks funny, just say, Dr. Kings, I tried to do it. I tried to do it.
I tried with everyone.
Yeah, just, hey, I tried, and that way I know that you tried, okay? So I'll probably stop taking points off it, because I know Moodle's kind of strange sometimes. Moodle does what it do. So sometimes, if you don't take that extra step, because that's what I normally do, go to Word, type my thing, then cut and paste it, then put it in Moodle, because Moodle will
That's
format
fine.
it wrong. That's fine, yeah, don't bother. I won't deduct any more points from you, because if it's a uniform problem, it's not a big deal. I just want you to be cognizant of the fact that you need to proofread your work. I mean, that's really why I take the points away, because that's the only way you're gonna pay attention. Right? When I take a point or two, you're like, why'd you take a point for? You're spacing. I won't do it next time, but I want you to remember that, hey, I need to fix my spacing. Right? That's what it reminds you of. So that, because you don't want to get any points taken away. Right? And the next time you'll do it right. But if it's a problem with Moodle, I understand, and I'll work through that and won't take any points off for that. Okay? Fair enough? Okay. Any more questions? No? All right. So, I see your first class, huh?
Yeah.
And this is your 12th or 13th? First. Definitely not no first. Okay, all right. So we got kind of a veteran, and then 3 rookies. Okay, all right. How you guys doing so far?
So far, so good.
So far, so good?
Yeah.
So far, so good?
Yeah, firstly didn't, go so well for me.
Why?
Well, busy at work and then, just kind of catch up with, school stuff.
Okay,
Didn't work out too good, but
okay. That's how
I'm
you do it.
adjusting, huh?
Yeah, we're here. Ronnie, how about you? Good? It's okay? Okay, all right, as long as it's okay. All right, I find that all the people from us, all the women from India are very quiet. They have to go in and actually pull you out. They have to snatch you and pull you into the class, okay? All right, so before we start, right? So the way I run my classes is, this is a open dialogue class, okay? I don't want to be up here talking forever, right? I like interaction. I like us to talk about, what's going on, how you feel, what you think about things, right? Don't take anything personal, right? No matter what anybody says, don't take anything personal. I'm not gonna let anyone disrespect anyone in the class, okay? There's no disrespect. It's about learning and figuring each other out. What can I learn from you? Because I'm learning from you just as much as you're learning from me, right? I'm really not doing anything. You can read all this stuff in the book by yourself, right? Very true, right? I'm here just to tell you stories about my experiences and how this stuff relates to the real world, okay? Some of this stuff in the book is trash.
You have the skill.
Huh?
You got the skill.
Yeah, some of the stuff don't matter. It's theory. It doesn't really work. Okay, no one uses it, right? But there's other things that actually are applicable, work very well, right? There are things you need to modify, but at the end of the day, it's a conversation that we're having. We're trying to learn as much as we can, build up our toolkits so we can go out there and do the best job we can, right? Put out quality products, quality service, just be the best, whatever at our job, okay? So don't be afraid to speak up, whether it be religion, politics, that kind of thing, right? I fortunately have had the pleasure of having a class with, diverse religions, right? And so it's always an interesting conversation when it comes down to religion, right? We don't get too deep into it, right? But everything that is going on outside of the world applies to what's going on here, right? There's nothing that we talk about in class that I can't correlate to in the real world, that you're not gonna go out there and face in the real world, or that you're not facing already, okay? You're here, okay? What's going on outside is gonna affect everybody. It's gonna affect me, affect you, all of us, right? So we should try to figure out, how does this class enable us to navigate through all that stuff, okay? How can we get through our day and take what we've learned and apply it to day-to-day situations, okay? And who's working here? I know you're working, working. I mean, you got a job?
I got a lot of them.
You got a lot of jobs, huh? What's your primary job now?
Now I'm like, I'm opening the business.
Uh-huh. Okay, I'm good. All right. So you finally did it, huh? Good for you. Okay. I know you're working.
Yeah.
All right. Lonnie, you're not working. Okay. All right. So, and I asked that question because if you're working, then you're familiar with a lot of the HR stuff already, okay? Because you've had to go through it. Onboarding, right? Team dynamics, compliance, compensation, right? Those, internet in the workplace, okay? Benefits. There's a lot of things that you already are familiar with in the workplace because you're in the workplace. You are the workforce, okay? And so we're gonna talk, but I'm not gonna go through every slide. Okay, I'm not a slide master like that. Okay, we're gonna talk, we have conversation. There's certain things that I want to make sure you get. But at the end of the day, we're gonna have conversations about things that I think are applicable, and we will talk about scenarios and that kind of thing based on whatever the topic is. Okay, so what that means for you is sometimes you're going to have to go and read this PowerPoints on your own. Okay, because 9 times out of 10, we don't get through the PowerPoints. I usually don't get through the PowerPoints, except for my stats class. So if you're taking statistics anytime soon or anytime, you're taking it with me. I teach the stats here. All right. So aside from statistics, I don't generally get through the PowerPoint. Okay, but we'll have an engaging class, get some good stories, hopefully, that apply to what we're talking about, and then you guys will leave with a better understanding of how the workplace works, how the labor force works, and how HR really works on the organizational and the HR side. Okay, all right. Let's see what else. I think that's it from my end. Question? No, anybody good? Okay. And the other thing is, I stopped teaching at 7:30, 7:35. We don't stay till 8. Okay? So somebody has a problem with that? Let me know. I'll stay with you till 8, 8:30, 9 o'clock. I don't have a life. I'm not married, I don't have any kids. Okay? All I do is grade papers, that's it. All right, so I have plenty of time you want to hang out with me, okay?
Yeah.
But I don't like to hang out longer than I need to. Okay? So 7:30, I usually cut it off. But if we're going and things are moving and I want to close out a topic, I'll stay a little bit later. But 7:30 generally, it doesn't matter when I start. If I start at 7, we'll be done 7:30. Okay? Fair?
Yeah.
All right. I don't hear any reports about Dr. K's let us out at 7:30 and I thought the class went to 8 and I want my money back or some craziness. Yes? No?
No,
Okay. All right.
anybody did it before the job.
Yes? You know what they say on the streets, right? Snitches get stitches?
Yeah.
No, that's not. I'm not gonna do that to you. That's not. I'm not like that. You might get a point though, but not stitches. Okay. All right. So what did Dr. Laura talk about first week? You talking about me?
Yeah.
What do you say about me?
You showed us your, your profile,
Oh, yeah,
what have you done in your life?
uh-huh. Okay, all right. What else?
Best thing is.
That, so what else, what did the HR stuff, cause I've known him for a long time, right, we got our PhDs together. Okay,
People opportunity.
okay, you guys talk about EEO, did you guys talk about, CRA 1964, Civil Rights Act of 1964, Title VII?
Second week, it was offline.
It was what?
The second week was offline.
The second was offline, so maybe that was, yeah, that was the week probably covered it. Okay, I will go back and touch on that, oh, Reg, how you doing? Can you see me, Reg?
Hi, yeah, I'm
Okay, how you
listening, sir.
Good to see
I'm
you,
good.
okay.
I'm
All
just
right.
listening. Mhm.
Okay, no worries. All right. We'll go back, maybe next week I'll go back and cover that because that's important, all right? HR is really about the laws and making sure that the company, the leadership follows the law, okay? They don't break the law. You as an HR person or specialist or journalist or VP or whatever it is, you're in your HR position, your job is to protect the company, okay? But your job is also to be kind of the middleman between the leadership and the workforce. Okay, that's really what HR is about. HR is there to make sure that the CEO, the COO, CFO, they don't do anything stupid, all right? And making sure that the workforce is taken care of. You got your pay, you got your benefits, you got, insurance, right? You like working where you work, you like the people you work with, right? Why is that important? Why is it important for HR to take care of the workforce?
The continuous in the company.
Stability.
Ability,
To keep the good talent for the employees, in the company and, obey the law, because in some states, they have the law to protect the employees.
fair enough.
Because if they take the side of the CEO, the employee, they will be against the CEO and the HR. So they should be in the.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. So HR is always going to side with the company, okay? Don't like, remember that HR belongs to the company, okay? But the HR officer, whoever it is, needs to be impartial. They need to be non-biased in the decisions they make, okay? But HR, at the end of the day, really belongs to the company, right? But the HR officer will make sure that they are fair to both sides, okay? And they don't really get involved with certain things, right? Certain things you have the union and some other folks to take care of that, right? But HR really is there administratively when we talk about an organization to take care of the personnel, okay? To disseminate policy, to manage programs, right? Manage performance evaluation program, manage compliance programs. They're not there to make any decisions or to actually create any policy or to create any new rules, right? Anything you see HR doing, it's really managing. It's not anything else. They have no authority, okay? So it's important that HR is engaged with the workforce because that is your way of communicating with the senior leadership, right? If there's a problem, you have an issue with your pay or who you're working with or whatever the case may be, you go to HR, right?
In big companies,
Mhm.
who's responsible to create the system?
Operations,
Big company.
Operations. operations.
The operation.
When you talk about the
Is
systems,
it higher level than HR?
yeah. Yeah. So whatever the operations is, so operations can mean anything. So if I have a sales company, right?
Yeah.
The operations cell will deal with sales. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's the core of what we do, right? That's our business. We're sale. We sell cars or we sell whatever, right?
Why I'm asking you, because I'm working with multinational companies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The big authority was with the HR manager. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The sales manager or
Okay.
the MD,
Mhm.
okay? Let's see, let's say he wants something.
Mhm.
he sent email to HR.
Mhm.
HR send it to all managers and underline manager.
Yeah.
And the manager send it to the medical representative.
Yeah, okay,
That's the system.
okay.
So I think in companies that that I work
Mhm.
with it, the HR has authority with this.
Okay, so.
Maybe there's a big difference between companies. It was a family company,
Mhm.
say,
No, this is multinational company,
Yeah.
big company.
So that's where your, not issue, but this is where it changes, right? You have an M&C, right? M&C, right? You have a multinational corporation, right? So, and imagine, you're headquartered here in the States, but you have a footprint in India, you have a footprint in the Philippines, you have a footprint in Jordan, right? You need somebody who's gonna serve as the point man for all three, right? For all three entities. It's gonna be HR. Right? Because HR takes care of all those things that pertain to you, right? Onboarding, your pay, your vacation, foreign currency exchange, different holidays that occur in each different country. That's all HR.
Yeah.
So because of that, that's why the HR manager probably has some authority as to what happens because it's multinational, right? And you have to have somebody who is more or less in the middle and doesn't necessarily have any dealings with the actual operations of the company, right? Now, you're saying that the medical salesperson, medical rep person will send something to the HR rep?
Yeah.
And say what? And say,
So let's say I have account
mhm,
and this account order or request something from me. I send it to my manager. The manager send it to take the approval from the HR.
Yeah.
Because the HR have all the system
Yeah.
from the higher level.
high court, yeah.
Understand me?
Yeah. Mhm. So that's exactly what you said, right? The HR is from the headquarters.
Yeah.
And they have the authority or they have the access to all the different systems that everybody uses,
Yeah.
right? And at the end of the day, the headquarters is who pays everybody,
Mhm.
all right? The HR will, so they just say, the company is headquartered here. We deal with dollars, right?
Mhm.
But in the Philippines, they deal with different currency. In Jordan, deal with different currency. In India, deal with different currency. Who converts that? Who does the exchange for that? The HR. Okay, they do that. There's a Ramadan or there's a special holiday or something like that, right? Who tells the headquarters company like, hey, it's Ramadan, don't expect them to come to work, right? Or they're gonna be fasting, right? HR.
So he has authority interior the company.
He doesn't really have authority, or he's delegated, right? He's been given delegation, so he can delegate certain things, but he doesn't necessarily have authority. Because what technically probably happens is you send it to him or her, whoever it is, the HR manager, they go to the headquarters company and say, hey, they asking for this. And they go, all right, let's process it. And they give it to the person who has the authority. Okay, this is good to go. Give it back to him. Okay, now you can send it back to whoever asked you for it. Your request is approved, huh?
He's the connector.
He's the connector, that's it, yeah.
He's the manager.
He's the liaison. That's the word I'm looking for. Liaison. Okay, liaison, right?
Like just, the CEO or CFO, he can't just, get information from all the workforce they have.
Yeah.
He will be busy all day.
Yeah,
But the HR, he just, summarize it,
yeah,
then give it.
he give it to him,
This
yeah,
is what happened today.
Yep.
We're gonna check on this, that's okay, that's not, okay?
Yeah. Because the person who it is, the HR manager, whoever's the liaison, they're getting reports from each different footprint, right? From each different country. And then they have to give that to the boss, as you said, and it has to be summarized, collated, and put together in a way that the boss can read it, understand what's going on in the Philippines, understand what's going on in Jordan, what's going on in India. Okay, good to go, bam. And the boss is not gonna read 3 different reports. It's gonna be one report, and somebody has to do that.
I believe in some companies it's different. The HR is not one HR. It's from company to company. The offer is different. The structure is different. I can focus here on the structure because in some companies even the IT department and the reporting will be under the HR. Some
Yeah,
companies, not
mhm,
all the companies.
yeah.
Other companies, it's different department, it's based on how it works.
Yeah.
I believe the, most of the companies that they have, the old companies, because the IT is for the last 20 years, I believe, and when it started the IT, they put under the human resource department, and it stayed there. That's why maybe because when they need to activate any account or anything, it's still under the HR department,
mhm.
that's why they reach out to them. And the other rules for some HRs, the reporting, because they calculate the productivity for each employee. Some of them, they receive the reporting from other companies
Mhm.
to check the evaluation and everything
Yeah.
for the employees. That's why they receive everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right, because that's going to their quarter.
yeah, but some companies different. Some companies,
Yeah.
there's different IT department, different reporting department, different training department.
Yeah, it depends, just in the case of the multinational
Mhm.
piece, in the way his is set up.
Yeah.
That, I'm just going off of his, but depending if there's a situation where IT may be outsourced. If it's outsourced, it's gonna fall in the HR, because, why is it gonna fall in the HR?
Because they do the contract.
It's a contract, you understand what I'm saying? But if it was an internal IT, it wouldn't fall in the HR, it'd fall in the IT. It'd fall in different, it might fall in the operations, but I doubt it, but it'd be its own department, because it's contract, it goes into HR, okay?
And what's cool in the human resource management that I do is
Mm.
the flexibility. The human resource will take the shape of the company.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going, in each case, everyone will give another opinion, like in another world.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, HR is not the most exciting field, okay? Except when you get into the grievances and stuff like that, and you see all the bad things people are doing.
HR, the bookie department.
Yeah, the boogie part. Nobody likes to go to HR, okay? Nobody likes HR, everybody hates, PSD and all that stuff, right? But HR can be, a huge leverage point for the company, right? If you have a good HR, your company will run pretty well, right? Because everybody's content, everybody's being taken care of. It's when you have a poor HR, right? Not only is the workforce upset, but then the leadership is just doing things that don't look right. They don't sit well with the workforce, right? And then sometimes they're illegal, right? And so the HR has to be able to walk into the boss and say, hey, we can't do that, okay? We're not allowed. And even at the highest level, right? Even the president has HR, okay? So you have to go into the president, like, I know what you want to do, but you can't do that. Right? Some presidents do it anyway. Okay, and then they get in trouble, right? As we can tell now, okay? Mr. President, Mr. Trump did a few things he shouldn't have done, and he's in trouble, all right? If you listen to his HR, he won't be in so much trouble, all right? But he's in problem, all right? So HR definitely plays a huge role in the company, but really, if you leverage it correctly, HR can definitely improve the workforce, improve the workplace, improve morale, improve engagement, okay? The only thing that, problem with HR is that sometimes a lot of HR folks, they just sit in their office and do paperwork. Have any of you actually met the HR officers in your companies? Spoken to them?
Yeah.
Not just because of work, but you've actually talked to them, you've actually seen them. You've seen the VP of HR, the president of HR, or the.
I work in one of the offices for accounting.
Mhm.
Some of the offices, they want to great because the HR resource, because they know every employee what's make him happy and what makes him sad. So if he know a lot of details in you,
Mhm.
he can like control you in a civilized team.
Yeah.
So, but it's a good way.
Okay.
In other offices, what make the office down,
Mhm.
really, they don't know what make the employee.
Okay.
So this is a good thing. That's the closest of the.
Close, yeah, to have the HR close. Yeah, it all depends on the size of the company, right? Like, I worked at Toyota. I saw the HR, the president of HR, VP of HR once. Okay, but one time, yeah. But that's okay. I mean, there were 50,000 people that worked at Toyota North America. Okay, so that's a lot of people for the HR person to get to know. All right, you don't expect that. right? Although CEO's office is, my office is here, the CEO's office is right there. I saw the CEO one time. I talked to the CEO maybe for 2 seconds.
Hey.
Right? Hey, how you doing? Hey.
How you?
Yeah, and kept moving, kept walking, right? He had things to do, okay? He was busy. I get it, right? So you're not always going to get the interaction that you should get, but the lower level folks, you should get to know. All right, you should go in the HR office and they should be visible and out and about. Okay, talking to the employees, making sure, hey, how's everything going? Everything okay? You know, especially if you're new. All right, how's your onboarding go? And during onboarding is probably where you're gonna meet them for the most part. They'll come in, they'll do, you know, their presentation, and then they'll say, okay, if you have any issues with your pay or anything else, come see HR, right? The first line of defense, of course, is go talk to your boss. Okay, it's always about talking to your boss. Talk to your boss first. But if your boss can't resolve whatever issue you have, you go to HR. Okay, HR is your next recourse for whatever problem you have. But HR is extremely important because it definitely can change the climate, change the mood, change everything about, you know, how you feel about the job. Okay, so it's extremely important. All right, so let's see, let me make sure. We'll talk about CRA 1964 and all the other applicable laws, okay? Next week, I'll cover all that, ADA, GINA, what else? Lily Ledbetter. There's a bunch of laws and acts that are important to HR that, you know, really affect your pay and how they do business. And if they get broken, there's a lot of problems that come with that, okay? Well, for this week, we're going to talk about the workforce, job kind of specifications and how we look at putting the right person with the right job, okay? So when it comes down to any job, right, what are the most important things you think for someone getting hired into a new company? Qualifications, okay? What else?
As a HR or as
If you're an HR person and you're hiring, what would you look for? What do you think is important? Skills, okay, qualifications, personality, what else?
Actually, it depends what position he's applying for.
Yeah.
If he's a sales guy, I'm gonna look at his personality. He was a sales guy. He was an IT behind the scene, other than him. I'm gonna look for qualifications and skills. You know?
Okay, so experience, attitude, right?
With the, he's with the amount of salary that I can offer with. For example, if I'm running with 60,000, I cannot get someone already get 100,000 to offer my position.
Depends. Depends on experience, right?
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
I cannot bring someone overqualified for the position.
Got you, okay,
More money.
okay. You can,
Yeah.
you can. Now, will it look right? No, people probably won't be happy about it, but you
But
can.
by the end, it will waste time for the company because you're gonna do interviews, by then you will accept the offer.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, it depends on what you're trying to do, right? What position you're filling. And what I'm trying to get is that you have to find the right person for the right job, right? That person has to fit, right? Whenever you go on interviews, it's not about your resume. Nobody cares about your resume, okay? Because you got the interview and that's off your resume. What we're looking for is fit, right? Do you fit, right? All this thing you're talking about, personality, right? Character, you know, what kind of person are you, right? That's the things we're looking for. Because, and then again, certain businesses, and I got your point about it depends on the job. Certain jobs, certain positions require a certain type of personality, right? That goes back to fit, all right? Like I used to work in sales, okay? I was there probably 2 weeks.
2 weeks, that's it?
2 weeks, because I realized I don't like sales. I don't like talking to people. I don't like telling people, hey, buy this, buy that, and they say no, and then I come up with something else, and then I come this way with something else, and then, you know, and they're like, no, and I just, and then finally I just pop over their head and I just take their money, right? I didn't like that, okay? It wasn't my personality. But I have a friend of mine, she's in sales, and she's good. She makes $500,000 a year good, okay? She has the personality for it. She knows how to talk to people, get their guard down, this is really good benefit. She's got all kind of stories, okay? So you have to definitely find the fit, but it's about the fit, right? Are you gonna come in here and disrupt my cohesive group, right? You're familiar with team dynamics, right? And I'm just gonna use him as because of the Navy, right? He knows about the military, he knows about being stuck somewhere and not be able to go anywhere. Okay, that's what the military here sometimes is about, right? Sometimes you get orders and they say, hey, you're gonna go here, you're gonna go with these people. You don't know them and it doesn't matter. You get there and you got the worst boss, the people you work for suck. It's just a terrible place. Even the city is terrible. Okay, and you have to figure it out. But you can't leave. All right, you have to figure it out. It's about the fit, right? How do I fit this person into this system? Right? I have a good team, everything's working just fine. Is this person gonna come in and disrupt everything that I got going on? All right, because then if they disrupt things, my productivity goes out the door, my efficiency go out the door. Okay, if my productivity goes out the door, guess what? My boss is gonna be calling me like, hey, we are down 20% from last month. What's going on? Why are we not producing? All right,
How we can ensure that?
what's that?
To choose the fit person in the, we cannot.
Anybody got any suggestions?
Because as you know, nobody come to interview.
Right, look at like nobody could have interviewed right
Yeah.
to be bad. Nobody could interview to be bad, right?
Yeah.
I think because I'm done some of this. The background is very important. Call their previous manager, at least the last 3 jobs, and see exactly if he was telling the truth, why he left his job and how he was there.
Okay.
And the 3 months training is very important.
Okay.
We're gonna check him during those 3 months, and we can terminate the contract anytime during those
Yeah.
3 months. Put the pressure on him, make sure that he's understand the job, make sure that what his experience was true according to his job. Then in this 3 months, anytime he's not fit, then we can terminate.
Okay. That really is the best thing you can do, because the only thing that's gonna be able to tell you if this person is a good fit or not is time. That's it, right? You can do all those things. You can, call the manager and say, hi, how was their performance? They can only give you so much information. They can't give you too much. They say, he was good. Was he fine under, adverse or for, some bad reasons? No, he's fine. He's fine. Okay, good to go. That's all they'll tell you, right?
And
But
when he left, that's very important.
yeah, why he left. If it's not anything legal, right?
It was me, and he was a British company. I would say if there was a bad guy, I would have, yeah, that's perfect, let's take him.
You just let him go?
Keep him.
No, you won't do that. But there's nothing, only time is the only thing that can really tell you whether or not a person is a good fit, all right? Because like you said, nobody goes into an interview wanting to bomb, right? They want to get the job. But people will, again, they'll put on a facade. They will put on a fake face to get the job. And once they get the job, then you really see who they are. And sometimes it's too late, but there's always probationary period, right? There's always 3 months, 18 months, sometimes, 12 months. It depends on the probationary period, but it's usually always a probationary period.
All employees try to do the test in these 3 months.
Yes,
After that.
No.
They change.
may change, right?
Because I have a bad experience.
Mm-hmm.
When I do interview, the person was perfect and his
Yeah.
CV perfect.
Perfect,
In the 3 months,
perfect.
perfect. After that, when he gets the job,
3 months, 1 day,
yeah,
gone.
because the regulation secure him.
But you can still terminate him.
No.
If his productivity goes down, and you approve it, and you have the number, you have to report everything.
In sales department, sales, it's mean number.
Yeah.
If you get your number.
You get your number, you're doing good.
Even if your performance was very low.
Yeah.
So you can't do anything. You know that employee very bad performance, very bad attitude, but,
He gets the numbers.
He did the target.
Yeah, he gets his target. So that, did you want to add to that?
Yeah, I agree with him. If there's target, it means the company is inside this target, and if you reach this target,
Right,
it's fine.
he's okay.
But if you expect him to go over the target, then you have to change your target for that employees.
Yeah.
But I know, but by the end, we do that in our company. We have the goal for the employees. If he didn't reach that goal, we're gonna teach him, learn him,
Right.
go with him, but report everything
Mhm.
to the HR to make sure that if we reach the point that we need to fund him, we need to terminate him, then we have all this point.
Okay.
There's guys which you
Yeah.
go through.
Okay, so I would say that 9 out of 10, what you're saying would work, right? The only place that I think that it's sometimes strange is in sales.
Hmm.
Because sales is one of those areas where if you hit your numbers, nobody
Nobody says
cares.
that.
Because typically, if you're working sales, you're probably not even in the office. All right, you're not dealing with your coworkers on a daily basis, you're dealing with the customer, and you're probably good with the customer, right? You have your 10 accounts. You probably go with all 10 accounts, right? They like you, you like them, right? It's just that you don't like your coworkers maybe, or maybe he's not a nice person because, or she's not a nice person because they're not getting anything from you, right? They don't have to be nice to you. They could be themselves, right? And so sales is just one of the weird things where as long as you hit your quota, nobody's gonna mess with you, right? But in other instances, you're right, all right? And even in sales, if they mess up, you wanna document, right? That's the only way you really can get rid of somebody. You have to document. You can't just say, oh, on this day, they did this, and then on that day, they did that. Well, show me the paperwork, okay? The paperwork is what we call paper fortress. You probably heard that term before, maybe, but paper fortress, right? If they do something first time, what do? If somebody's late to work the first time, what happens? Are you driving with it? Okay. What do you do the first time? Counseling, right? Give them a warning, verbal warning. Hey, don't do that no more. Be on time. Okay, talk to you later. Next week, they're late again. What, now what? You give them a written warning, all right? Hey, you were late last week, you're late this week, okay? Good to go. They're late again the third time. Second one. After that, not yet, not fired yet, okay? So you give them a second verbal warning, right? The third, the fourth time, right? What happens next? Not yet. Not yet. You remediate, okay? One of the things that a lot of managers mess up on is that you just can't say you're late, write them up, and then move on. You have to give them options to help them fix the problem. Okay? If you don't give them options to fix the problem, they're gonna say, well, you never helped me fix the problem.
Yeah.
Did you ask them why they're late? Okay? What if they're late? I have a baby at home. I can't get here any earlier. The babysitter doesn't get here till 8. There's nothing I can do. That's a serious problem, right? That's not a problem that she or he can fix. Right. They can't fix it alone. They need your help, right? That's when you say, okay, let's fix the problem. But you have to give them some remediation in there or some remedy to say, hey, I'm gonna give you some assistance. After you give them assistance, if they continue to be late, then after the third or fourth warning, okay, now you're gonna get a formal counseling in your personnel record. And the next time, in the termination, well, not the term, the counseling will say, the next time this happens, you will be terminated. They will say that, right? And so now they know, okay, if I mess up again, I'm gonna be fired, right? There's no secrets, there's no hiding it. It's like, no, it's been 3 times. Next time you're late, you're fired, okay? And that's how you kind of deal with that issue, right? But it's about the paperwork, all right? Even if it's a matter of you in a notebook, okay, and you write it down, such and such was late on this date, and you sign it and you put the date next to it. It's okay, that works, okay? And then you talk to them and say, hey, please don't be late, okay? I've annotated it down, I recorded it, and that way they know you're keeping track of it, okay? And then if they keep being a problem, then yeah, eventually you'll get rid of them, all right? And that's easier done if you have the documentation to back it up. Okay, if you have no documentation, it's just he say, she say, and you're gonna lose every time. Okay, because they're gonna give the employee the benefit of the doubt. Even though they know you're a great manager, even though they know the person's late, it doesn't matter, right? Because they don't want to get sued, because you'll get sued, okay, by an employee because of that, or wrongful termination, all right? Okay, so, we look at fit, right? And we're really looking at how does this person come in and not only complement, but enhance and add value to my team or add value to the company, all right? All right, so not necessarily gonna talk about all this work analysis, right? So when we talk about work, we're really looking at, what's it that we need to do? What's our objective? What's our goal, okay? And how do we get there based on the job duties or the tasks that we have to get to that particular goal, okay? And so each job will have a description, and it'll have a certain amount of responsibilities and duties that are attached to it that we think that if you do these things, you will reach this outcome. Okay, that's basically what it boils down to, okay? But the way you know what it entails or what needs to be done is through a job analysis. Okay, has anybody ever done a job analysis here? Somewhat, sort of? Okay.
I do.
Sort of. So basically, when you do job analysis, you're just breaking the job down to see what are the key components of the job, right? What are the requirements, or what are the tasks, the duties, the responsibilities that you need to put down or make happen so that the job is done properly. Okay, that's all it is. How much time does it take? Okay, is it reasonable? All right. If you are in a manufacturing plant and you work on a line, right, you're making widgets or something, or do that, you're making a marker, okay? An average person makes 80 markers a day, okay? But you come in and I want you to make 200 markers a day, right? That's unrealistic, right? It's unfair, right? And it's not necessarily part of the job analysis, not part of the job description, okay? And so all those things go into trying to figure out, what do we need to do to get the job done, right? And also looks at workflow, okay? Where am I at in this whole process? Okay, so if I'm making a car, right, if I'm building a car, okay, and you're in the manufacturing plant, and you're in charge of, I don't know, the doors. All right, so from the doors, it goes to paint. Then it goes to, I don't know, audio or whatever, okay? Where is my place within that process? What is the workflow, okay? And trying to analyze each particular spot that it stops at to determine how efficient and productive each particular station is being, okay? Because you may be working at a very fast pace, right? And doing your job extremely well, but you're over here at the beginning of the process, and then next thing you know, it goes to paint. And it just paint has like 5 or 6 cars backed up, okay, because they're not doing their job. Or maybe they're waiting on you to do their job, okay? So companies look at the workflow. How is it what's the process that it takes for us to get from the raw materials to the end product, okay? And if we are gonna have what's that word I'm looking for? A choke point, okay? Whenever it's a choke point, that means that there's some stoppage. Something is stopping me from being efficient or doing it in a certain amount of time. Big companies that deal with manufacturing or deal with any process really, they have it timed down to the second, okay? Because every second is money, all right? If you are supposed to do that in 10 seconds and it's taking you 15 seconds, imagine that you have like 3 or 4 different lines going across, right? And each one of these lines is taking extra 15 seconds. It starts to multiply, it starts to compound, right? And so it's just not 15 seconds anymore. 15 seconds turns into a minute here, and then it turns into 5 minutes here. it turns into 15 minutes here, right? And then now, all of a sudden, you're a day behind, right? It's like kind of a construction site, right? If you don't lay the foundation down, you can't build a house. Longer it takes to build the foundation, the longer it takes to build the house, okay? But guess what? It's raining every day, there's snow on the ground, the materials are late. That's costing money, okay? But we can't do anything without laying the foundation first, right? That's critical, okay? And so the workflow is an important part of job analysis of what companies do to make sure that they are maximizing all their resources and not wasting time and money, okay? And anytime you guys have a question, please stop and ask, okay? All right, so just a quick workflow analysis, figure, inputs, equipment, people, all going to work, and then boom, you look at your output, okay? And these are all resources, and what's the most important resource for a company? The people, the human resource, okay? I don't care what great idea you have. I don't care how much money you got. If you don't have the people, it's not gonna go anywhere, okay? Because you as an individual can only do so much, right? You can only go so far. You can only, stay awake so long. You can only be efficient for so many days, okay? Eventually, you're gonna get worn down, and you won't have as much reach as an individual, right? This is why it's important that you get good people on your team and that you get the correct skill set within the company, because you want to be able to kind of scale up and reach out to everyone as far as consumers go, okay? And you can't do that on your own, right? You may ask, you see a business that's successful, like just say there's people that own cake shops or own bakeries or own, restaurants. And you're like, oh, we should open another one. And they go, no. Why would they not open another restaurant? You want me to say the question again?
Yeah.
So let's just say you own a restaurant, okay? And it's doing really well. And someone says, hey, open another restaurant. Why would you not open another restaurant? From an HR perspective.
We don't have enough talent resources that they can manage the other business.
Exactly. Yeah, I cannot manage that, right? I don't have the resources, okay? But it can be done, right? And who does that? Give me an example of a company that has done that.
I believe the most important one is the in and out.
In and out,
Uh-huh.
right?
Because
McDonald's?
they started in the beginning because was family business,
Yeah,
and they
Yeah.
went slow till they find the process, and
they took off,
they
right? But any fast food chain restaurant is an example of a company that's, branched out, that started as, and you guys all seen the McDonald's movie? All right, and so, you start, one business is popular, right? But in order to branch out, you have to have the resources, right? And it's not just the fact that you have the resources, you have to have consistency, right? You have to be consistent, right? And the way to be consistent is to have a system, right? Have workflow, okay? But at the same time, you have to have some kind of control function, okay? So the way McDonald's, anybody know how McDonald's actually works? How does McDonald's work?
Gonna talk about the assets that they own.
No, how does, as a franchise, how does it work?
they start with divide the system, which means each one is one simple thing. That's how they make it easier to just bring people and keep working, because the system works itself.
No, not individual stores, but from the headquarters standpoint.
About
Oh.
expanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, about expanding.
There's in the franchise.
Uh-huh,
Let's say in Jordan, there's a guy who owns all the McDonald's in Jordan.
okay. You say it's one guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the countries.
The money.
The owner of the old stores, one guy.
So, but how does it work?
You should have the same menu, same thing, and they come to the restaurant and they check that the they comply with everything.
Okay.
But what is exactly your question?
No, that was it. Yeah, how does it work,
So
right?
I thought, that when you franchise to, let's say McDonald's, they supply you with everything.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay? They control everything.
Yeah,
They put conditions on you.
Yes,
Like, in Jordan, you have to change your whole decor, like, in 3 years or 4 years, every 3 years or 4 years.
mhm.
You have to keep, the continuity of the flavors of the, you know, it
Yeah.
stays the same.
Because you need to be consistent, right?
it's better.
Yeah. When you go to McDonald's down the street, it should taste the same as the McDonald's across the country. Okay? McDonald's here tastes the same as McDonald's in
I
New
don't know
York.
about the other countries, but probably in the States.
No, in the States, not the other country, no. But that's a good point that you just made, right? So how about the other countries? How does McDonald's do that?
They don't provide you with the same meat or the same potatoes, you know?
They do change. They do change in different countries.
Okay,
Yeah, I tried in Jordan, Turkey, and Morocco.
okay.
The same meal under the same name,
Yeah,
different flavor and different recipe.
okay.
It depends on the country. itself.
Depending on the country,
Because the
right?
What they prepare.
Right, go ahead.
They study the culture.
Yeah, the country.
Exactly, okay? So it's something we like to say, you wanna, no, you wanna think global but act local. Okay? I'm a multinational corporation, right? I'm trying to branch out, okay? But I just can't go to India and serve hamburgers. All right? You know, for the most part, all right? I just can't go to Muslim countries. Yeah, exactly, right? Have to, even Hawaii, anybody eating, I know you have, all right? The McDonald's Hawaii is totally different.
Hawaii?
Yeah, in Hawaii, it's different.
It's a rice.
They serve rice, they serve spam, they serve, masubi. Yeah, masubi and stuff like that. Yeah, they serve hamburgers too, but they have traditional local food, okay? That's how they do it, right? So you go in and you customize everything to the local environment, right? Now, once you do that, all the local stuff is coming from one local place, okay? Because I need quality control. I need consistency, all right? That's how you do it. That's how you branch out and you are able to expand out and scale up. Stay consistent, keep the quality control high, but at the same time, be able to exert your uniqueness. You know, the thing that made you successful in the one store, that's how you make it successful on the other stores without you actually being there. Okay, you put the protocols in, put the systems in, and then people have to follow them and you supply them from one place. Okay, and that's really the key. Okay, but it takes a lot of control, right? HR has a part in that. Okay, because if I open a McDonald's in whatever country, right, who does the hiring? HR, right? But which HR? From where?
From the same country.
From the same country, exactly, right? They go, they get guidance from the headquarters and say, hey, I need to hire some people. Okay, no problem. These are the rules that we hire people by. Need to be on time, need to have a degree, need to be able to do this, need to be able to do that, right? And they go, okay, which one of these doesn't apply here? Which one of these is not gonna work in this country? And they go, okay, that one's not gonna work. Okay, why is not gonna work? Well, not everybody here has degrees. Not everybody here is gonna stay open, stay late to work. Not everybody here, there's certain things that we can and can't do, right? Based on the law. And then we'll customize it, we'll tailor it to make sure that it fits the local environment. Yes.
The first department for any multinational company is HR.
It's HR.
Yeah.
Right? Because you got, go ahead.
They help the management by policy.
Mhm.
Really, because they demand on all the departments. So they start from the department.
Yeah, HR is the one department that's somewhat universal, right? If you're gonna start a company anywhere, HR is gonna be the first one to kind of go out, do this, the site survey, all right? They're gonna go with other people from operations, but they'll be there to make sure, like, hey, how do we get these contracts going, right? With all these vendors and suppliers that we have. What you got?
Yeah,
Okay, well, you.
I used to work as a marketing guy
Uh-huh.
and a lot of companies. But you know, the marketing department usually, that they force the HR to do things. I just know that. Because when you are a marketing in a company, okay, you just can tell the HR to send us this, give us this, you just like applying,
Yeah.
forcing him to do things,
Mm-hmm.
and we always win on HR.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. And marketing, you know, is just. When people think of marketing, they think of TV, they think of commercials and that kind of thing. And marketing is so much more than that. And a lot of times marketing and HR, they kind of go hand in hand, for certain things. Because marketing is important in the sense that that is the way that the company communicates with the populace, with the people, right? And if you don't understand the customs and the culture of that society, it's not gonna work out very well for you, right? And so many instances, they always go to HR and say, okay, you know, like what should we expect from the workforce here? You know, what's the demographic like? Okay, because HR should have a better good understanding of that. They should have done a market analysis, marketing should have, right? But HR does one also, where they try to figure out, okay, what kind of worker are we having here? How much do we need to pay them? What's the average cost of living? All those things fall into HR, right? And trying to figure out how do we establish a footprint here. Interesting enough, everybody knows Walmart, right? But Walmart's not everywhere. Okay, is there a Walmart in the Philippines?
No.
India,
Just in America, and
Jordan,
I believe one in Europe.
one in Europe?
I believe in one country in Europe, just America.
Okay. Nowhere else, right? Okay, so, I'll tell you the story and then we'll take a break. All right, so Walmart decided they wanted to go to Canada. And they went to Canada. They were there probably 2 years and then they got shut down, right? I think I told you guys this before, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, so why do you think they got shut down?
They don't know the market, maybe, no, or culture.
The culture.
They don't know the culture, okay? So Canadians apparently are very, very prideful, and they're the type of people that they don't like to look like they don't have the money, right? So it's a different mindset. In America, we're always looking for the discount, looking for the deal. What's the deal? I don't want to pay too much for it, okay? Yeah, I got the money, I just don't want to pay too much for it. Canada's different. Canada's like, I got the money, I'm gonna show you I got the money. What's the most expensive thing you have in here? Okay, give me that one. Well, we have it here, the same thing for $10 cheaper. No, give me that one, because it's more expensive. Okay? Walmart's not like that. What's Walmart's strategy? Cheap, right? Low cost leader. Okay? They deal in bulk and volume. That's what Walmart does for the most part, right? Cheap, you go in, get quality product, but they sell a lot of it. Okay? Canada wasn't having it. Canadians were like, no, we're not going to Walmart. If you walked into the Walmart in Canada, people would look at you crazy. Okay, they'd be like, oh, you must be poor.
Yeah.
Okay, and so their marketing strategy didn't work. Their business strategy didn't work. And so they eventually end up leaving Canada. Okay, so it goes to the importance of understanding the demographic, understanding your consumer, right? And HR and marketing both not necessarily doing a good job in figuring out, like, is this gonna work here? Is our approach adequate here in this environment? Okay, this is why you don't see Walmart everywhere in the world, because it doesn't translate everywhere. Okay, there's very few multinational companies that translate everywhere without a little bit of tweaking. Okay, what are you gonna say?
And I know, a new company, they start show up on multinational, like everywhere, named Sirtan. It's a Kuwait,
What's it called?
Sirtan.
So just
No, it's the name of Sirtan. It's the name of the company. They pick up the old country in the world, but they pick up the places inside the Arabic community, inside these countries. So it's like have a good development.
Okay.
So
Okay.
they research on this
Mhm.
and they chose their like target
Mm-hmm,
and they work their the market with this.
okay. Yeah, no, I mean, you want to be successful on the, multinational level, definitely have to do your research.
Based on a lot of things, you know?
Yeah.
Even Walmart, because Walmart have the image that it's cheaper,
Mhm,
for guys who don't have a lot of money. This is
Right.
why their image to Canadian.
Yeah.
For the cheap or full people like this.
Didn't work, yeah,
So they didn't work.
didn't like it, all right. Okay, let's take 5 minutes. Come on back.
What if they name Walmart VID in Canada?
I don't think that would change.
Maybe.
Might change the mindset of Canadians.
Oh, no, why wouldn't that work? Why would that be, why would that not,
Play in psychological way.
why would that not work?
Because they don't want to lose the reputation there.
No, they wouldn't lose their reputation, Americans are too, no.
Yeah, just Walmart VID with
Okay.
high quality product with high price.
Oh, wait, not,
It's not Walmart.
no, that's not Walmart.
No, Walmart, but VID.
No, that's not Walmart.
Maybe
You know what? This is another way to work here in KSA, in USA.
Say,
Do,
Wouldn't work.
Walmart and Walmart VID.
Walmart
Like
VIP.
Costco business, Costco wholesale.
That's,
No.
no,
not
that's
the same.
different. Costco wholesale and Costco business is
Yeah,
different.
different.
So Walmart VIP wouldn't work here.
There is a type.
Why would I go to Walmart VIP when I could just get the same thing from the store?
Even they can't do that because they will kill their market share, you know?
Yeah,
I'm not gonna compete with myself because I'm gonna like,
No, it's better to compete with yourself than to compete with another.
it depends, it depends.
It's a chain of products because they usually they bring the cheapest product.
Mm-hmm,
Then they have to change the whole chain. It's not easy process.
that's not even
It's a
problem.
huge process.
yeah. One of my friends, he owns a restaurant in my country. but,
Keep the old one and try to open new business.
Yeah, you have to create.
Take
the
another
whole-
market share. No, take another market share.
Yeah, but you have to create the whole. new
Yeah.
product. You create new
That's
product.
why-
Hold on, wait a minute, wait, go ahead, Ali, I wanna hear what Ali has to say, go ahead.
One of my friends, he owns a restaurant.
Mhm.
It's a very.
Oh, if you need to take a break, go ahead, we're just talking.
You got the idea.
Yeah, how was that?
You get the idea.
It's okay, go ahead with it.
He owns a restaurant. It's a successful one, okay? I asked him why you don't open another branch and in the same country, but
Yeah.
another location. He said, okay, if I open another restaurant, I'm gonna compete with that type of block.
Mhm. Yeah,
And even though I can't make it sure to taste the same thing.
yeah,
That's it.
okay. There's a way to do it, and there's an industry that does that. All right,
Yeah.
and what industry are you guys familiar with that does that now?
Every case, man, is different from another.
No, it is, but there's an industry right now that does that on a regular basis.
Yeah, but for Walmart, it's easy to do, to do that.
But
Mm.
you just have to change the idea.
It's very easy.
Easy.
There
Because-
is a money, there is a location, there is a industry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, because they be getting to a new level, a new niche market that already has
New market,
established, they already have established people in there. So those people that are in that industry already, that have that high level quality stuff, they wouldn't let Walmart in.
It's risky.
You know what,
Yeah.
how the pharmaceutical company dominate on the whole world.
Yeah,
Every pharmaceutical company start with the,
yeah, with something easy, penicillin,
yeah.
yeah, something like, yeah,
After that, they
right,
expand. Anti-hypertension, anti-hypertensive,
Right.
cardiovascular, psychological, psycho.
Alright.
Try to expand. Get different market share from different market.
but what do they do? What do they have that Walmart does not necessarily do on the same level? What does pharmaceutical companies do that Walmart does not do on the same level?
Bring the experienced people.
No, There's something pharmaceutical companies do in addition to,
Planning and analyze the market,
no.
the
Mm-mm.
needs.
There's something that specific pharmaceutical, the industry does that Walmart and the retail industry does not do on the same level.
Well,
Research and development.
yeah, research and.
Pharmaceutical companies produce, their job is to either they're gonna buy the drug from another company or somebody, or they're gonna make the drug. They're gonna create it, right?
Yeah,
They have R&D.
Yeah.
Walmart doesn't have R&D, right? So they're not introducing any product that's unique to them. They're not saying Walmart VIP, we have special VIP products made by Walmart. They don't have that.
Yeah.
Pharmaceutical companies, yes. We just made, what's that new Alzheimer's drug? Have you heard about that one? The new Alzheimer's drug? Alzheimer's disease? Yeah. That company that made that drug, I'm pretty sure it's probably Eli Lilly or Novo Nordisk or whatever, one of those big companies, right? But they bought that probably from some other company.
But I know that Walmart has its own brand, right?
No, they do have their own brands, right? But
They have the
Yes.
basis for that.
but their own brands are considered generic, cheap. You can't make it VIP now.
Yeah.
Because you make it VIP, guess what? You gotta make VIP prices.
The image, man, it's just cheap.
Yeah, it's just cheap. There's an industry that does what you're talking about.
They
There's,
can
there's,
change it, they
there's
can
a-
change the image, but it will take them a lot of years, you know?
yes,
10 years.
no, they won't let them in.
Yeah.
They won't let them in.
Adidas,
What about it? Okay.
they do sales points
Uh,
for new entry product
yeah,
and do outlet, right?
yes,
That's cheap, Adidas, cheap price with all the products,
uh-huh.
a new entry, a new arrival with the high price.
But that's
Adidas.
their product.
this
That's
thing-
their product. They made it.
This thing is different. you know?
Yeah, it's different.
There's a new shoe, let's say, but you can't say there's a new cheese.
Yeah, there's no new toothpaste.
That's Lotus.
Right.
This is food, that's.
Adidas makes, but you're on the right track, right? Retail is where they do that. Retail company. So if you look at a company like Michael Kors or Gucci, for instance, right? Or Ralph Lauren, they have the label they sell at the mall. They have the ones they sell at the stores.
Yeah,
They have the ones that they only have on the models, on the fashion shows. Then they have the ones for people that specifically get couture. All these levels, right? They're all different levels, but they're all Ralph Lauren, right? But every fashion designer has that already, right? It's part of the business, right? So everybody knows if you just want to get Michael Kors, you just want to buy something for your mother, not spend too much money, you just go to the Bloomingdale's or Macy's, you go get a Michael Kors bag, right? But if you want the stuff that you see on the fashion show that Kim Kardashian is wearing or something like that, you're not gonna find that.
Yeah.
They don't sell it to you, right? You have to go, you gotta have the money,
Yeah.
right? It's a different level, right? Same thing Walmart. Walmart could not get into that level, right? Because they already established as a brand that is low cost. Even if they had their own material or their own products, people would still look at it as it's Walmart. It's generic, right? And you know about generic
Yeah,
drugs.
yeah. So the first impression,
Yeah. Say that again?
the first impression that.
Yes. Yes.
Walmart.
And for Walmart, yes. I think for Walmart specifically, yes. And there might be a company that's out there that you can do that with, and they do it, right? But Walmart specifically, because of the way it is, it's gonna be that way.
Thank you.
Of course. What's up?
I wanna help.
What you want to show me?
Citation.
No, no, no.
That's why I ask you about the citation.
Let's see.
I did this paper, you know,
Okay.
and the post, last post.
I don't think you're in the matrix website. Okay. We need the year here. Where's the year?
It's the same,
You gotta put it in there.
yeah, okay.
I would put it here. That's what you remember. I discovered that my first time I ain't getting this was good. This is all- sometimes I take it. Yeah, good. Okay, so here, you say it says according to the MBTI framework, and that's yeah, that's good. All right. And then you could have done it a couple different ways. You could have done it according to the NDTI framework or NDTI and put the year there.
Yeah.
And then put the author at the end, or you could have done it different, but this is good too. Connect with others and be okay, so here, you see this whole thing here? This citation. Okay,
Citation.
yes, because you're saying, you're saying that they're known for their ability to understand, connect with others on a deep level. Where did you get that from?
From the same file.
Yeah, but it's before it.
So I wanna.
So no, so you can, so just put it back again, just use it again. You can use it again.
The problem that I'm like being confused when I use it once, because I use it second time, when I do this one, this side is agree with all the things that I want.
So it does, but the fact that this citation applies to this sentence. So this sentence here, it needs its own citation, but you can use this again because that's where you got it from. So you can just put.
The problem is that I use it again.
It doesn't matter. You can use it as many times as you want. It doesn't matter. You can use the same citation, the whole paper.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a separate citation. It could be the same citation. So right here, because that's where you got the idea from, right? That's where you got.
Yeah.
So you just go, you just put the same here, like boom, right here, you go, Myers. Oh, excuse me, Myers et al. Myers et al. Period, comma, 1998, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use it over and over again.
I chose a crazy topic on the
MBTI is not crazy topic, it's a good topic.
on the title justification.
Okay, that's good.
So I tried to use a good one. So
Nothing wrong with that.
I just wanted to take your advice.
No, it's good.
It seems like
You did good, you did good.
on this one. Because this talent, how to use the talent inside every company, it's make the performance of each employee better. So I think this is a topic that I will take attention, take care of it.
Okay, so here, you should put a citation here.
This is the title justification. So I'm all in the courses.
Yeah.
I don't do the citation and title. I do it in the draft and the.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna take points off
Because
for it.
I like it because in this one, I give the point.
Yeah, it's okay, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna take any points off for no citation because,
Is the topic is good?
yeah, the role of talent management, yeah.
Yeah.
Good, yeah, I'll see you next week. Where's your last duty station?
Here.
Here, where
I
at?
was, on board, Paul Hamilton.
Okay,
DDG.
okay, yeah. All right, good time. Yeah, I was with the Mew for a while, and, I was on the Boxer,
Okay.
the Comstock in the New Orleans on
My-
the maiden voyage.
My first, duty station was, Camp Pendleton. I was on the LCAT.
Oh, yeah, LCU, yeah. Oh, man, was it no, is that ACU one or LCU? No, ACU one, right?
No, ACU one is the LCU, ACU five is the
It's
LCAT.
LCAS, okay, I was good, yeah, that's why the LCU was, keep this along. Okay, that's what's up, yeah. Yeah, it was a good, I had fun in the Mew. It was a good time, I don't know about being on the ship for that long. I was like, man, I don't know how you guys do it. It's a busy, so much stuff to do and like the work and it's
Never stop.
never stops. I'm like, oh my goodness, what is going on? Like so many things, and then it's like the XO's always on top all over you guys like that. XO, relax. Take it easy.
Sir, excuse me, you are muted.
Hey, you're right. I will go and talk to each of the service managers and the owners about how their dealership was running, okay? If they had any issues with people and, bought a car and the car had some manufacturing issues, or, something was wrong with the car, is there something you could do as an incentive to help me out to, give to the customer, or whatever the case may be, right? But then I also did aftermarket analytics on the Lexus side. Okay, I just sat in the office and I just crunched numbers and did data analysis on the number side. But everyone else that wasn't in a role where they had to deal with the dealership were contractors. We had, a whole like building that was just mechanics. Okay, and they were contractors and they would work on cars, and we had a school there to help the technicians and that kind of thing, learn how to do oil changes, learn about the Toyota cars in general, okay? And so it saved them money, okay? So depending on what it is that you're trying to do, you hired a particular type of employees, right? We have seasonal employees, right? Or contingency employees for the holidays, right? During Christmas, Thanksgiving, you notice all the stores, they're hiring people, right? Because they understand there's gonna be an influx of people coming in to shop. And so I need more help, but I don't need you on a long-term basis. I just need you for a couple months. And so I'm gonna hire you as a seasonal or contingent worker, and you're gonna get paid this, but I don't have to pay any taxes on you. You don't get any benefits. You don't get anything, okay? You are you're part-time. Even in part-time, you get a little bit more, but even part-time, depending how many part-time hours you work, because some people are part-time, but they have full-time hours. Okay, but they do that because I can give you the hours, but I'm not gonna give you the benefits. I'm not gonna give you insurance. I'm not gonna give you retirement. I'm not gonna give you 401k. I'm not gonna give you anything. All right, you're just gonna get the 40 hours, but you're part-time. Okay, and that's how you get around some of that stuff, right? But again, you have to figure out what's gonna work for your company, right? Is it better to have a bunch of part-time or contingency workers? Or is it better for me to have full-time workers that I know belong to the company and that I can kind of move around as I see fit, right? That's the downside really to not having full-time people. Because if you have independent contractors, they are there for a specific reason. I just can't say, hey, I'm gonna move from this department to this department because I want you to cross-train. Can't do that with contingency workers or contractors. They are under contract for a certain task, get paid a certain amount of money, work a certain amount of hours, and that's all that, within that scope, that's all they can do. They can't go any further. If you have a full-time employee, you can do whatever you want with them, right? Hey, I need you to go to Europe for a week. Okay, no problem. I need you to do this. Okay, I need you to stay home. I need you to remote work, okay? So every company will decide what type of employees that they want to have and what the company is composed of, based usually on the resources they have, how much money they're willing to spend, and on payroll and that kind of thing. All right. All right, we kind of talked about person job fit already at the very beginning, right? Again, you're looking for someone who's gonna fit the right job, right person, right job, right place, right situation, right? And that is a crucial component of whether or not you have a good working environment, whether people want to come to work, because one person can totally throw off the dynamic of the team, right? We see this in sports, right? You don't have the right chemistry. Same thing applies in corporate America or in the office. You just have people that don't get along, they have differences. You're gonna have lots of issues, right? So you gotta find the right person. Even someone that's qualified, but you may notice that their personality is not gonna work, right? And when I was working at Wells Fargo, and I wasn't a broker yet. I'm not a broker at all. But I was training to be a broker, right? But I came under a different program. It was kind of more of a temporary thing. And they had full-time employees that they were really trying to get ready to take the broker's exam. My boss said, hey, you're really good at this. I'm gonna put you in for the broker's exam so you can get your broker's license, so you can be a stockbroker. Well, they didn't like that, okay? And so the people that were actually there that were hired by Wells Fargo, they decided that they didn't want me to take the broker's exam, okay? And they let the other people that were there take the broker's exam. But Wells Fargo was a very cutthroat place, right? People backstab each other because they were all looking for these deals, these contracts, right? Hey, you know, this guy has $10 million. He's looking for somebody to help him with it. They're all fighting each other to get his clients, okay? So it's a very cutthroat place, and I didn't like it. I didn't like that dynamic about it, okay? It didn't fit my personality. And so my boss asked me, say, hey, you know, you want to stay, you want to go? I said, you know what? I love working with you. I like the job, but I don't like the people. I don't like the environment. That's not me. I'm not gonna backstab you or, you know, step on your neck or say something bad about you because I want that client, right? So you have to have the right fit, right? If the fit isn't there, then that person's not gonna fit in and they're gonna kind of disrupt the kind of the ecosystem of the company, right? And in that particular, you know, department of Wells Fargo, the investments branch, you need that type of person. You need somebody who's hungry like that, who's cutthroat like that, right? Just like you need somebody specific in sales, right? That's persistent and aggressive. That wasn't me, okay? And I realized that, okay? But there are people that they thrive in that environment. They're the right fit. I wasn't the right fit for that company. So I left, okay? And so you have to understand that companies look for that, and that's their main objective, is really to find the right fit, because they don't want to spend money on the wrong fit, right? Let me see. For me to have become a broker and to stay with the company, it would have cost the company $250,000 to keep me. Okay, they had to pay me my salary, and then they have to pay me for me to take the exam. The exam costs $25,000 to take, and you can only take it if the company sponsors you. Like you have to be working in an investment company, and they say, "Hey, we need this guy to take the stockbroker's exam." You just can't go take it. Like you just can't say, "I want to be a stockbroker and go take the exam." It doesn't work that way. You have to work for a company. They have to send you. They have to pay for it. All right. So they would have to pay for the exam and give me my salary, which was about $150,000 a year. Right. That's not including bonuses and all the other stuff. Right. And so it costs a lot of money to do that. Right. And they realized, like, this guy's not a good fit for the company. Right. Now, if they had spent that money on me, they'd been upset. It's $250,000. Right. It's not much to Wells Fargo, but at the same time, it's still $250,000. It matters to somebody. Okay. And so you don't want to spend that kind of money on someone who's not going to fit in the corporation, is going to end up leaving. Right. And now you lost.
After he takes the license.
Right. Well, you couldn't leave. You had to stay for 2 years. Yeah, they have a contract, and if you breach a contract, you got problems. Okay, so fit is important, all right? Okay. I'm gonna let you guys read this on your own. Get to something else. Okay. So I want to talk about global teams and teams in general. And the reason and make sure you go back, take a look at those other things, right? But the reason I want to kind of close out with the global teams thing, right? Because of the nature of our society now, all right, and the fact that we are getting more and more globalized, okay, and we're getting smaller and smaller as far as connecting and networking, right? There are a lot of global teams. Even us in the class here, we're a global team, right? We come from different places, we have different backgrounds, different experiences. I have students that are online, that are in, you know, Jordan, that are in India, that are in Africa, right? But I have them online, right? But they're still a part of the team, okay? And companies are now really pushing on global teams, because every company wants to have a footprint on a multinational level, because that's another market, right? That's more money, right? So if I can tap into a different market by placing people or having people on my team that are globally located, right? That's what I want, right? Because I want to get as much market share as possible, right? Now that's not always possible, but they try, okay? But global teams are important because they let you have a reach in places that you would not normally have a reach in, okay? And to generate revenue and bring money in that you normally would not be able to get into, okay? But with it comes a lot of downfall, a lot of problems, okay? One, of course, is you never really get to interact physically with the team, okay? Virtual team, global team. You're in one place, we never get to see each other. I had, when I worked at Toyota, I had somebody in Japan that I talked to all the time. I never met them. A year goes by, I never met this person, but I knew him. We talked all the time, but I never really got to meet them, okay? But they were part of my global team, just like we had one in Japan, which was the lead, me in America, we had one in Africa, one in Europe, one in South America, okay? And those people, we were our global team for that particular project. But I never met any of those people, okay? We basically would talk over VTC back then, or on the phone or via email, okay? So we never really got to really connect the same way, okay? If you notice, who's taking an online class here? 1, 2, okay. Online classes are so much different than in-person classes, okay? I don't like teaching online classes because I don't feel like I can get a connection with you, okay? And so you get a diminished effort, sort of, okay? Not to say that the people online don't have the same level of effort or intelligence, it's just that the experience is different, okay? You can turn your camera off. You don't have to be engaging. You could, do whatever you're doing. You could be watching TV for all I know. I had one student, she had a newborn baby. She'd be cooking, feeding the baby, and still in class. I'm just happy that she was in class, but at the same time, like, hey, you got a lot of stuff going on, and it's a different experience. And so you get that disconnect. You don't get that real relationship building aspect as if you get when you are in person, right? Part of the team dynamic, right? It makes teams cohesive and make them work well, have synergy, is the fact that we can see each other, we can kind of touch each other, right? And we can get to know each other. I can get to see your mannerisms and how you are when you're mad or you're happy and you're sad, and
Yeah, face expression, the
Yes.
voice tone. That's it.
your energy,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
right?
The body language.
Your body language, right? I can't see that online. I can't see that virtually or on global teams, right? And so that's one disadvantage. The other disadvantage, and it's one of the reasons why we can have global teams and do things the way we do them, is because we have technology, right? The technology enables us to do this. Without Zoom 10 years ago, if COVID happened 10 years ago, we wouldn't have class because we didn't have Zoom back then. When I was going through school, there was no Zoom. We had VTC, but that was like for special people. Okay, that had money. Yeah, the president and people like that, they had their special or the Zoom stuff already, right? And so we don't have that, but because of technology, we can facilitate global teams. We can facilitate, partnerships and experiences, even though we're not in the same general vicinity. But also the downside of that is that if the technology isn't working, we can't operate, right? The internet's down. Wi-Fi is not working. Not enough bandwidth. My computer's slow. You have a PC, I have a Mac. All right. So now we can't really work. We can't do what we need to do. There's a learning curve, right, with technology. My dad's 82 and my mom's 70 something, okay? That's when we tell her age, right? So I got them an iPhone. And so one day, my mom FaceTimes me. Say, hey, what's going on? Nothing. Mom, hey, what's going on? Nothing. She didn't know what she was doing. She just pressed the button because it said FaceTime. She's like, what is this?
He thought that was a video.
Yeah, she didn't know.
Oh,
She didn't know. She didn't know how to work it. She's FaceTiming me, but she's got it up here, she's got it down here, over here. Mom, put it in front of your face. That's why it's called FaceTime. So I can see you, we can talk. Like, oh my goodness. I said, oh yeah, she said, okay, I'm gonna use this all the time. She's like, okay, fine. Then she's like, oh, I need you to send me a picture. Can you send me a picture, of something? I said, yeah. So she said, okay, so you're gonna put it in the mail? I said, no, I'm gonna send it to you on the phone. She's like, you can do that on the phone? Yes, I can do it on the phone. Mom, it's an iPhone. It does a lot of things, okay? So guess what? They still don't know how to use the phone, okay? So I took the iPhone away and I gave them the old flip phone. The old, very old flip phone where you had to press the button 4 times to get to the letters. They want to say hello, you gotta press it H, then 111 333. Okay? They like that. They're okay with that, right? The learning curve for that stuff, depending on your age, right, is different. Okay? If you can't teach someone the technology, they don't want to learn it, then again, it's useless. Okay? It's not gonna help me. And so that all those things affect teams, global teams, virtual teams, when it comes down to understanding how do you manage the team? How do you get the teams to be cohesive? How do you get everyone on the same sheet of music? You may have someone with lots of experience, but they don't want to use, they want to use typewriters, right? When I went to school, we had typewriters, we didn't have computers, okay? And so when computers came, the older people, we gave them computers and say, hey, computers in there, and they're like, oh, this is great. The older people said, no, I don't want to use a computer. I don't know what this is. We have word processors. I don't want to use this. It'll make your work easier. Like, no, I'm going to stick to my IBM, to my Selectric, my typewriter, okay? Because that's what I know, okay? I'm not going to use this. Okay, so what do you think happened? The old people using the typewriter and the new people using the computer. What do you think happened? Definitely friction, but what do you think happened to the workflow?
Well, we cut
Slow.
yeah.
None, non-existent, really, right? Because I'm here typing my stuff up, I make a mistake, I just delete, keep going. I save it, I'm good to go. You're on a typewriter, you make a mistake, guess what? You got the little button that says go back and use the white tape, right? But most people will be like, I'm gonna start over. Okay, now you're done with, whatever you're typing. You say, okay, I'm finished, I put it down. I go away, I come back, I go get my coffee, boom, coffee spills, and guess what? Gotta redo it again, okay? So what they did was it stopped production. Because now you're on the typewriter, I'm done, I'm waiting for you and your work, but you're on a typewriter, I'm on a computer, all right? So the two didn't mix. So you have this issue of compatibility, right? Now you're stopping workflow because you don't want to learn how to use the new technology, right? And we're going to see that happening here briefly, right? As AI really starts to kick in and companies really start to figure out how can we leverage this in the corporations, right? In our daily operations, and people are going to have to learn certain things about AI. If anybody knows anything about AI, it's not easy. It's extremely complicated. There's a lot of different areas in AI. It just blows your mind, okay? Probably one of the hardest things that I've ever done is to get my master's in AI. And it was just so many things that I was like, I don't understand what you're talking about, okay? Now, that's from a developer standpoint. That's from a standpoint of, somebody putting the stuff together and making it, right? But you have to know how to use the technology, right? Virtual reality, that's coming, right? The metaverse, those things are coming, all right? How do you think people are going to react to that? How do you think people are going to react to holograms and different autonomous vehicles and stuff like that, right? Yes, we like them, but how do you get people to really use them and engage properly with that, right? And make it productive, make it useful, add value, right? So for instance, banks. Okay, when's the last time you've been to a bank? You went to the bank today? Yesterday?
Yeah.
For what?
I was just changing the account name on the password.
Okay, so not important. No transactional thing, right?
No.
Where'd you go? For what? You what? Withdraw, right? Okay, why did you do it on your phone?
So then you can,
You want to so you went to the ATM. You didn't go to the bank.
I go to the bank, but,
No, you went inside the bank?
Yeah.
And you went to the desk and asked for a withdrawal, or you went to the ATM?
ATM inside of it.
Yeah, so you went to the ATM. You went to the ATM. You didn't go to the bank. You didn't go to the teller. Did you go to a person and say, I need money? Can you give me some money? No, you put your card in, you put your PIN, and then it spit out money, right? Okay, so you didn't go to the bank. You went to the ATM. Okay, so if you ask someone maybe in their 70s and 80s to use the phone to do all their banking, they're gonna look at you crazy. They're gonna go, no, I go to the bank, I go to the post office. When's the last time you been to the post office? Who's mailed a letter in the past 5 years?
Not in the post office, another letter.
And you mailed a letter, right? In the past 5, yeah, so maybe you have, right? But most people haven't mailed a letter in ever. Some people don't even know where to put the stamp. Right? They don't know like how to put the address, put the stamp, put the return address at the top. Yeah, I gotta get a stamp. Where do I get a stamp from? The post office. What do I put there? Yeah, well, you put your address here, you put the return address here, you put the stamp in the right-hand corner. Okay, well, what if I'm mailing a box? Well, you need a lot of stamps. Okay? They don't understand that, right? Because they don't have to do it. Right? So what I'm getting at is that there are some things that people are gonna have to get used to because the way we do things now is so different from what we used to do. Okay? Banks are gonna be obsolete. Brick and mortar places are gonna be obsolete, right? The malls, the commercial spaces, you see that, anybody been to Horton Plaza? Anybody know what Horton Plaza is? You know what Horton Plaza is? Anybody else know what Horton Plaza is? Okay. Horton Plaza is downtown San Diego, probably 1 block, 2 blocks from the gas lamp, maybe 3 blocks. Okay? There used to be the mall, right? Outdoor mall. It's gone. It's closed. They're closing it, repurposing it for something else. They're doing something else with it. But why did it close? Why would I close a whole mall?
Probably nobody shops anymore.
Because there are no one comes to the.
Nobody goes to the mall. Where do people shop?
Amazon.
Online, right? Amazon, yeah. Online, Amazon.
So why do they pay the rent on the?
They don't.
Yeah, they just can use it for the.
They don't. This is why you're gonna get an influx of commercial space. That's why there's a problem now. We have too much commercial space. Because one, people aren't going to, the mall anymore. They're not going into buildings, doing everything online. Two, specifically dealing with HR, people are teleworking. Right? They're not going to the office anymore for the most part. Right? They're at home, they're wherever. I was in Hawaii and I was working. Okay? Like during COVID, I was teaching my classes, but I was in Hawaii, I was in Mexico, I was in Italy, I was all over the place.
We work remotely. Last month I was in Spain and Morocco and working from here.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna have a problem because as time goes on, right, you're gonna have to be able to facilitate that, right? People more and more are gonna want to be able to do that, right? They're gonna be able to stay home or stay wherever they go, wherever they wanna go, and not have to come into the office, right?
For working, it's good. But shopping, I hate shopping online. I have this video.
You can learn. That's the beginning, but you're gonna learn later.
Yeah, and well, I'm the same way. I have a hard time shopping
I'm
online.
old school, man. I can't buy a shirt from online. I
Yeah.
have to take this.
But when you start doing, it's
Yeah.
short term, and then
It's good.
you stay home.
Right, that's the part, but I don't like returning it because it's a bunch of effort, and I get it, I don't like it, but I could just go to the mall or whatever store, touched it, put it on, and then I'm good, but most people like shopping online, okay? I don't personally, but I done it because I realized like, I have to, right?
More options.
Yeah, I got more options and it's faster, more convenient, so I do it, right? But not everybody likes that. Okay? And so with that, you're gonna have these things disappearing, right? You're gonna have these storefronts, these physical buildings no longer necessary. Not, as an employer, excuse me, what's the benefit of me letting you telework?
As employer,
Yeah,
it's, you can have less bills, you don't have to raise the space, and, less responsibility.
yep, that's what I'm saying, right? I don't have to pay the light bill, I don't have to pay the water bill. You know how much right?
For example, our company, we don't have office in San Diego.
Right,
All our staff working from home, which means they don't pay for office, they don't pay for rent, they don't pay for
Right.
bills.
they pay cell phone
No
and
mention
car and
that.
mileage.
Yeah, just cover them up.
That's it, all right? But do you know how much companies typically spend on toilet paper? Yeah, you wouldn't think about that, right?
Like how long? Huh?
Yeah, so, yeah, $250,000 a year on toilet paper. All right, because they have to have it, because we're in a building, people gotta use the bathroom. We gotta buy toilet paper, right? Cleaning it, all right? We don't have to do that anymore. Because you're working from home, you got your own toilet paper. Okay, you can use your own bathroom, or whatever bathroom you're at, okay? And so it's important that, HR also, kind of understand, how do we manage virtual teams? How do we manage global teams? Okay, how do we pay them? How do we manage their holidays? How do we manage compliance? How do we manage the property that they use, that we give them, right? The computers, the cell phones, that's all company property. How do we manage all that stuff, right? And how does HR play a role in making sure that, the work still continues and that the employees have everything they need, even if they're not necessarily physically at the location? Okay? All right, any questions? Comments?
About things that you're talking about, in my last class, it was in operation management.
Mhm.
And my research, my paper was about working remotely and how the advantage and disadvantage from
Right. Mhm.
remote work.
Anyway, what'd you find?
It's a huge advantage, but responsibility and we don't know, it's new thing. We're not sure about the mental health for employees, how it's gonna come.
Exactly.
Yeah,
The
disadvantage.
social aspect.
Yes,
social aspect.
and yeah, it has disadvantage, advantage, disadvantage, and how we gonna develop the staff because we're working from home.
Yeah.
And the most challenging things are how we gonna manage the work that they do.
That's always the hardest part, managing the work, right? The quality of the work, right? And also the social aspect of it, the productivity. So working from home, it's proven to be pretty productive. Most people have proven they can be productive at home. The problem they have is separating home and work, right?
That's another thing.
Yeah.
You're gonna keep working till night. and
Right,
you
you keep working till, if I'm single, if I'm at home working, I could work till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
Mhm.
Always working, always working. If constantly somebody's calling me, or I'm getting a bunch of emails. If I was working in a physical building, I wouldn't have all that. 5 o'clock, I'm done, nobody's gonna bother me, that kind of thing, right? And so there's a connection that you need to sever, right? You have to have rules, you have to establish guidelines and say, look, after 6 o'clock, you can't call anybody, okay? You can email them, but don't expect them to respond back that night. The next business day, yes, but not that night, okay? And there's this expectation. It's kind of like your phone and texting.
And there's the third option is hybrid work. You work 1 or 2 days in the office.
Right.
And I believe that will be the best thing because
Yeah.
you're gonna still have social
Interaction.
connection with
Yep.
with the staff. And
Yep, and because a lot of people, they lack that social interaction and they need it. They need to be social and talk to people and be out in the world, right?
Yeah.
And that's me. I like to be out in the world. I don't necessarily like to interact with everybody, but I like to be out in the world and seeing things, see what's going on, and be able to talk to you once in a while if I need something. People need that, right? Because a lot of people don't necessarily have social skills, and then they start feeling alone, then they start feeling depressed, and then next thing you know, yeah, then you got other issues to deal with. Okay, good point. All right. Any questions, complaints? I don't care. All right, I'll see you guys next week. Okay. Thanks, Raina.
Thank you for your time.
We're done.
About the groups, how many persons for each group? Person?
Hold on, wait a minute.
Sorry.
Randy, do you hear me? I see.
Okay,
I'll see you
We're
next
done.
week and drive carefully, okay?
okay. Thank you. Sir, if ever I have a question regarding the paperwork,
Yes.
can I call you with your number? Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm. Okay, I
Okay.
will just text you first, then I will call you.
okay, sounds good.
Thank you so much, sir. Bye.
No worry. Okay, bye-bye. As far as the groups,
For each study, yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna let you decide what groups you want.